All right, happy Friday evening. We are live here in Plainville, Georgia, just north of Rome and just south of Dalton. We're here on a Friday night at Crazy Acres Bar and Grill. This is located up in the 14th district of Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene's district here in Georgia, where she is expected to come here and speak with, well, we'll pan the crowd, about 50 to 100 people expected here on this outside patio on a beautiful night here in Northwest Georgia to talk about some of the issues that are making the news right now. And one of them, obviously, is what happened yesterday on Capitol Hill. And as Congress abruptly ends their session for the day and told to basically go home until next week to address some of the issues that are on the table right now. A lot of continuing resolution, a debate on money, more funding for Ukraine, for that war. Definitely one of the things that caused a lot of people to be in disarray as far as their agreement with funding the war in Ukraine. Also, we'll talk about Zelensky's appearance in D.C. Yesterday, went to the White House, spent time with Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer on the Senate side. Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, did not have a meeting, did not have him come, and I should say address Congress when he was in town. But nevertheless, we'll talk about Zelensky, but we're also going to talk about Georgia politics, national politics, world politics, all here tonight with these fine people at the Crazy Acres Bar and Grill in Plainville, Georgia. Before we get into all of that, I want to talk about one of our proud partners. Now, when we have these really pop-up broadcasts where we decide, you know what, let's get out there and put something on the air. Let's give people some information that they need to know. We turn to some sponsors about getting involved, and this next company did not even think twice about doing it. tvOS.com. Now, these are high-quality, made-in-the-USA products that have a lifetime guarantee. Now, we've had partnerships with them before, and it really went very, very well. So apparently, you guys like them. Right now, you got the themes that are We the People. We have Don't Tread on Me. We also have Home of the Free, Because of the Brave. I'm going to encourage everyone to go to the website right now, tvOS.com, and pick up one of these vacuum insulated items that is great for anything that's hot or cold. If you travel, this is perfect. If you got a college student that's on the go, this is perfect. If you're in the car a lot and you're going to go on a long road trip and you want to have something you can put in your cup holder and keep your beverage hot or cold, this is absolutely, it is leak proof, it is shatter proof, and guess what? It's made right here in the USA. We want to make sure our friends over at TervisUSA.com feel the love from you tonight. Because of them, we are able to come out and do a broadcast like this. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is planned to being here at about 7 o'clock to deliver a speech for about an hour to some of these supporters. Now, she's also going to take some questions from the supporters here. And we're not going to filter the questions. We're not going to prompt anybody on what to say. This is from the people here in the 14th District of Georgia and how they feel about this country right now. What is on their mind in terms of the leadership in this country, the leadership in the state, and what's going on in the world today. I'll let you step aside. I want to bring over a couple good friends of mine. Jamie, I'm getting you and Justin to come over here. I don't know where Justin went. Here he is, right here. I want to bring these two guys. Justin and Jamie, they are they work here in the state. They work here in this district. You guys both have a podcast that you guys do together. You talk about Georgia politics. You do, and you also talk about what's going on in this country right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the country's in shambles under Biden, and I mean, we all feel that. Like right now, the economy's awful. Most of our money's going to Ukraine, and we need some change because if we don't, we're going to be doomed. I know I don't have any kids yet, but by the time I have them, I at least want them to have a future.
You want to have a future as far as the education system. Let's talk about Georgia right now. I know that this state in 2020 didn't necessarily go the way we thought it would go. You're on the forefront of some of the election integrity, some of the changes they've done here. How confident are you here in Georgia as we move forward that our elections are safe and secure?
I would say I'm actually very confident. SB 202 that passed, spearheaded by our local legislators here, it's actually pretty safe. They've gotten it to where you actually have to have your ID for the absentee ballots. You actually have to when you're dropping off your ballots at the absentee boxes, they're actually video cameraing you going in and doing this. It has to be in a well-lit area. I mean, there are so many safety measures that have been built into this that you can rest easy knowing that this is going to be a very safe, secure election.
Okay, we can all hope that remains the same. Okay,
absolutely.
Let's talk about what people are calling your podcast and talking about. You guys talk about a lot of different subjects. Let's start with one with Joe Biden and the economy and the effects it's had on Northwest Georgia right now.
Well, we've had here in Northwest Georgia, we've never really come out of the recession from 2008, but it got a heck of a lot better once President Trump was it. We started to see economic gains that were untold. Now that Joe Biden has come into play, you're seeing all of your mom and pop shops, they're shutting down left and right. You're seeing the big box stores come in, move in. You're seeing Dollar Generals pop up on just about every corner. Everywhere that you used to have just your general store there, you're seeing a Dollar General pop up there because the local business owners there were not able to make it through all of the shutdowns that Joe Biden forced on everyone. A lot of the local manufacturing facilities here are having to poach a lot of the workers away from each other just simply because under Joe Biden, with all of the incentives that were passed out, these factories have never really recovered from a lot of that.
Yeah, and there's a worker shortage in this area big time in there.
There is. It's about 6,000 job shortage across Northwest Georgia, and it mainly covers most of the 14th. We got factories coming in and everything, but we're all looking for employment, and so we're trying to figure out, how we're going to fill the gap while we continue to prosper. It's getting really tough out here, especially now you got $4 gas and everything else in Georgia, which is unheard of.
I was just going to say, you put on the rising fuel costs, and just last week, I mean, we've seen the petroleum oil reserves keep going lower and lower, and guess what, folks? He's not refilling them up, and if he was to refill the petroleum reserves, he's filling them at $94 a barrel oil, which costs us a heck of a lot more to fill up this time than it did last time.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember the story correctly, President Trump was calling Mark Meadows saying, I don't care where we're having to put this $1 barrel of oil, if we're having to fill up bathtubs, then we're going to fill up bathtubs. So, I mean, we are losing a lot of this oil at a dramatic price loss here.
All right, so we are in the 14th District of Georgia. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. Obviously came on the scene fresh in 2020. What was your first impression of her when she ran in this district, and why do you think she won so huge here and once again in 2022?
It really comes down to this. She came in and she filled a gap that we needed here. She came in and fought for the citizens of Northwest Georgia, which is something that we hadn't seen at that level in a long time. It's great to have a congresswoman who you can see at the grocery store, but also knows that's up in D.C. fighting for you, and that's unheard of. So, I mean, that continuing, knowing that, you can see Marjorie at a baseball game and at the local Rome Braves, or you can catch her at the grocery store, you can see her out and about. But having a fighter, knowing that, your neighbor is actually fighting for you has been really big for us.
So what is I'll ask the same question to you, Justin. When she first came on the scene, what was your first impression?
Well,
why do you think she's so popular here?
Well, I'll put it this way. So I have been Team MTG since she first walked into the 14th Congressional District GOP meeting and said, I am wanting to come and run my campaign in Northwest Georgia. I've been Team Green since then. A lot of folks say they've been with Team Trump since he went down the escalator. That's my comparison.
Oh, there's your comparison.
Exactly. But what I really like is the fact that she is Northwest Georgia embodied. She's everything that everybody here stands for. Well, just like his hat says, we're ultra right. We are the conservative brand here. We fight for our true ideals. We're not interested in a lot of the woke agenda that's being pushed on America nowadays. And Marjorie fights against that, and just her being in the room, you can just feel the anti-wokeness across from it.
Well, what's interesting, this is the deep red district, and there's a lot of deep red districts in this country, but the representative from those districts are still trying to fund the war in Ukraine, knowing that their constituents back in their district are very much against it. How do you think this is going to play out in this next election when some of these people that we have in Congress that we know their constituents are against the very things that they continue to push and vote for? How do you think that plays out in 2024?
I think it plays out bad for them and good for America. Because what's going to boil down to is we're going to have these people get out there and we got to have them vote and vote these bad politicians out. You know, whether you're right or left, some bad politicians need to get out. I'm glad we have a good Congresswoman, though, that we continue and will continue to send to D.C.
Yeah, and what she did, if you guys missed it yesterday, she was a no vote on Ukraine funding, and that pretty much put the whole thing in a tailspin, which made Congress pretty much in their session for the day. And what other representatives wanted to happen is they wanted to put this Ukraine money in this larger bill that would kind of dilute who was for it and who was against it. So if Marjorie, for example, and others that voted no, would vote for this package that had Ukraine money in it with other stuff in the defense bill, it would make them look like they support funding the war in Ukraine. So what this is going to happen now, and I think Marjorie can talk about it a little bit later, is it's going to force Republicans to be open about their position on funding the war in Ukraine instead of putting it in a larger bill. That's making people put their money where their mouth is and take the criticism from their constituents in their district. That's what it's all about, and that is one way you get rid of rhinos.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And as the hat says, I am a veteran myself, and I have to say, I sincerely thank Marjorie for standing up for us and really keeping America from really going into this proxy war and creating essentially what is likely to become another Vietnam. I would rather not see a lot of my brothers and sisters in the armed forces have to go overseas and potentially lose their lives for something that really has no effect on us. It's something that really is truly endeared to my heart. So sincerely, I thank her for that every day.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're going to have you guys hang out. I'm going to go talk to, let's see, Pam, you guys want to come up for a second? I want to talk to you guys. It's kind of nice to talk to some of the, hey, how you doing? Good to see you again. It's a beautiful night here in Northwest Georgia. If you're just now joining us, we're live here at Crazy Acres Bar and Grill in Plainville, Georgia, just north of Rome, just south of Calhoun and Dalton. Hey, your shirt says it all, actually.
Hey, I'm not one of the sheep, right?
Yeah, one of the sheep. Let's talk about why you're here tonight. What do you want to hear from Marjorie? I know, is there any one particular topic that you'd like to get a little bit more clarification on, something that's happening in D.C.?
So, you know, I think there's a lot of secrets in D.C. that don't get shared with the American public. But I also, the war in Ukraine, I'm over it. I'm just over the whole funding Ukraine. I'm tired of giving my tax dollars to people who don't really care or don't really matter. So that kind of thing, I mean, America first. I want to close our borders. I think we need to shut the gates down there. Just not let
the border's out of control, and I tell you, if you don't think the crisis at the border affects a state like Georgia, they're wrong. I mean, you guys have seen fentanyl pour into this state like no other.
So I'm not sure how true it is, but I've been told, and I've had several people that work with this company tell me that this is the truth, but that Shaw Industries has a sign at the border that says, come to Dalton, Georgia. That's where I live, at Dalton, Georgia, because we have jobs for you in Dalton.
I can't confirm that. I don't know.
I was told that was the truth. Now, that I have several friends that work at Shaw, and they've given me that information. I don't know how.
Well, there's a worker shortage. We can say that. I don't know if that's how they're getting them from the border, but.
Well, you know, I don't want to bring them across here illegally to take American jobs. I just don't think that's.
We don't think that's fair at all. I would agree with you on that. Okay, let's talk about the economy. Gas, I was driving in. It sucks. I will say this, Governor Kemp, a week before last, dropped a state exercise tax on gas. I think it was like 35 cents a gallon, which is great. It actually lowers the price of gas. But still, the price of gas here overall is too high.
Well, so I bought it today at $3.14, which is still, I mean, my truck gets over $100 to fill my truck up to go to work every day. You know, so, you know, I'm a contractor. People wonder why my prices are so high, and I've taken pictures and posted it on my Facebook. You know, I'm giving $125 to fill my tank up. So that kind of thing. But my wife went to the grocery store the other day, 10 bags she could carry in her hand. It was $485. So,
what is she buying, steak?
This is yeah. No, actually, it was really just toiletries, shampoo.
Just the stuff you need, right?
The stuff that you have to have, you know, toothpaste, that kind of thing. So, I mean, inflation's out of control. I mean, I honestly, I know Trump's coming back. I have no doubt that he's coming back. I believe that if they put him in prison, he'd be elected from prison and pardon himself. I think that's the way it would happen. So my philosophy is when he comes back, he'll lower the interest rates, and I think when he does that, it'll spur the economy and inflation will come down. And
there was an article the other day, and I want to ask you this in a second. There's an article the other day that said Home Depot, some of their non-essentials, some of their basic stuff was still selling, but their extra outdoor stuff, like if you want to spruce up the patio or redo your pool or things like that, those purchases are down because people simply cannot afford to do some of the extra stuff. And I know that you're in that line of work.
They cannot afford it. Lumber's down. It's levelized off a little bit, which it got extremely high, but it's down a little bit. But those, like you're talking about, those things are not selling. I mean, the people are buying the necessity of life. They're not doing anything that's not a necessity. They're not spending money for that. So, and I don't expect them to, really. I mean, I've been blessed, with my business. I deal with some folks who their economic status is a little different. They've got money to spend, so I deal with those kind of folks. But a lot of people just can't afford to fix up and do things at their house. My wife owns a home decor shop, and they're just not going to come in and buy right now because those are not necessities.
And people have a lot of uncertainty of what the economy will look like if there was a post-Biden. I mean, if Biden, for whatever, God forbid, is reelected or somebody, then what does this country look like 4 years later? So people are very pessimistic about that as well. I appreciate your time. You're awesome. Pam's awesome. I'll go there and talk to you guys in just a few minutes. I do want to talk about our partners. Like I said earlier, we cannot do broadcasts like this without people over at Tervis, the website, TervisUSA.com. I am telling you right now, if you want to support this broadcast and you like Right Side, like some of the things that we cover, then take the time right now before this program gets started to go to TervisUSA.com and pick up one of these insulated American patriotic theme thermoses. There's 100% made in the USA. They're shatterproof, they're leak-proof, they're vacuum sealed, and it makes it such a great gift for someone who perhaps travels a lot, or maybe you got somebody going off to college, or maybe you just want something for kick around the office or at home. This is perfect. TervisUSA.com. That's TervisUSA.com, a proud sponsor for tonight's broadcast. And I really want to send a message to them that they did the right thing by coming on board tonight and being a sponsor of this program for that. We have Bikers for Trump here as well. We're going to bring in Pam Kinnaman. I'm sorry. We're going to bring you someone in just a second. I'm not sure that's her name. To have her come in here and talk about Bikers for Trump and what an organization that it is. We can show some of the bikes that are pulling in right now. We got a guy pulling in with a Trump hat. Going to park his bike. Let's see if I can talk to him here in a few minutes. I believe he owns, if I'm not mistaken, he owns Acres. Crazy Acres. I'm going to talk to you on the air real quick if you don't mind. Come over here. One thing, thanks for having us out here. I know it was extremely short notice. Just so you guys know, this segment came up this morning at about 9:30 in the morning. It was like, hey, let's go up to Northwest Georgia. Let's talk about what's happening in Georgia, in this country, and let's have a good time. And you said, I got no problem with you guys coming here, and I just want to thank you for that.
Absolutely not. We love Marjorie, and we stand behind her.
Let's talk about, as a business owner, what has your business been affected by Biden's policies?
Everything getting too damn expensive. We can't afford anything. People don't realize that the prices going up create the taxes to go up. The government gave herself a raise, and they don't even understand that.
And as far as your food costs,
everything, food, bacon, hamburgers, beer, everything.
Yeah. And have you gone up on your prices at all? I mean, to try to compensate that? I know you hate to, right?
Yeah, you hate to, but you have to just to try to stay there. But we're still under the average, but I'm retired, so this is not my money. We do this for the people.
That's awesome. Now, this is a great place that everyone comes and sits down. They exchange ideas and how they can solve the world's problems. What are some of the problems that you're hearing about, not only in Georgia, but this country, that you guys talk about over a round of beers? Or
everyone's talking about, I mean, of course, obviously the border, which is an issue. The crooked politicians. I think some president said one time, if you ever see a rich politician, you're going to see a crook. We got way too many rich politicians in this government. We need to take our government back. The people need to take our government back. We need to take our land back. We're losing everything.
What would you suggest President Trump do on the first day when he returns to office? What would you like?
Shut down everything Biden did. Shut it down. Well, Biden, Obama, whoever, but yeah, shut it down. I don't think Biden's competent enough to do any of this stuff, but yeah, shut it down. Shut it down, start back over, finish the wall, Then start the pipelines, the oil back. Let's get self-sufficient again. We need our own oil products here, and we got plenty of area to do it.
We were energy independent under the Trump years. Matter of fact, people were buying oil from us. Now we're buying oil from our enemies, essentially.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, what's the Ukraine? Why we keep giving money to Ukraine?
I was just going to ask you your thoughts on Ukraine. I know that is a huge topic right now in Congress as far as stop funding. Zelensky was just in town yesterday. What's your thoughts on the war in Ukraine?
If I'm not mistaken, somewhere down the road, I think the Ukraine was invited to join the UN, and they turned it down. Am I mistaken about that?
I know they're the third most corrupt country in the world. That's probably why they turned it down.
Leave them. That's exactly why. Leave them alone. That's not our business. Stay out of it. The United States needs to worry about what's going on here.
I saw a report that Ukraine is seeking $24 billion for Q1 for next year to maintain their government and maintain their war. That's money that you and I don't have.
No, it's absolutely money we don't have. Money we keep paying out that we shouldn't. And most people don't even know what Q1 is.
Here you go. Let's talk about motorcycles. That's your bike?
Yes, sir.
How long you been riding?
1 to 6 of them. I've been riding since I was 4 years old.
Let's go ahead and show some of these bikes if you can, Corey. We'll swing around here. Okay, so you've been riding since did you say 4 years old?
4 years old. Yeah, I've been riding and water skiing since I was 4 years old. So,
how big is the bike culture here at your business as far as coming by here on a Sunday afternoon? I mean, is it kind of a gathering place for Northwest Georgia?
Well, we're closed on Sundays, but they come in during the week all the time. You might have a set come in 40 or 50. You might have a set 10 or 5 or 2. But they do come because they like to ride, and they ride out here in the middle of nowhere. So.
Yeah, check out this gas tank on here, Corey. I don't know if you can.
My wife's here. You can see she's got this airbrush going on right here. So that's everybody loves her. Everybody loves her paint job on that bike. So, but that's a Intruder 1400, and it runs just as fast as that 1900. So.
But you always maintain a safe speed, right?
Oh yeah.
That's my disclosure right there.
Yes, absolutely. Mine also. So yeah.
All right. So what are you expecting to hear from Marjorie tonight? What do you want to hear from her? I know that she's a firebrand in Congress. She's does not have a problem speaking her mind.
Exactly what I was going to say. Pretty much just be Marjorie. Be yourself. Keep that ripple in the wave going. Keep that government. Keep them on their toes. They don't like her because she speaks the truth. When she first started, she may have not been as knowledgeable as she is now, but now she knows how that government works, and she's in their face, and I love it. Stay in their face, Marjorie.
Well, I've heard her say since she was kicked off committees, I gave her a lot of time to study the government, study what they do, the procedures, and that's when she started calling for votes as far as getting off that recorded votes.
I love it when she's talking about impeaching Biden. Impeach him. Impeach them all. Get this government back in order. The people right now are hurting because some of them can't afford it. They're trying to separate the rich from the poor, and that's just wrong.
Yeah. And you've seen your business. Thank God you've been able to maintain throughout COVID, and then so the Biden's here. So you're doing something right here.
Well, one thing is we built this building. My wife and I, Tammy. My wife and I. This is my wife, Tammy Strap, right here. But my wife and I built this place.
Good.
And we built this place with our sweat and blood. The building is paid for, so we don't owe rent. If we owed rent, then it would be a lot tougher than it is now. But we're getting by. The bills are paid, and my employees are paid. We're not taking money out of it, but at least we have employed people. So. And
I've stopped by here earlier and enjoyed a little bit. We're talking about Marjorie, talking about this district, Georgia, the state of this country. What would you like to hear from Marjorie tonight when she takes the stage at about 7 o'clock?
That Trump is coming back. Trump's coming back. We love Marjorie, though. We love her.
But we got to get Trump back in the White House, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I was talking to your husband as far as Biden's policies have been really horrible for small businesses. Hopefully, I know, God willing, you guys have made it through all of that, but it's time to turn the corner and get some better fiscal policies ahead.
I agree. Totally agree, yes.
Let me step aside. It looks like we have Marjorie. It looks like she just pulled in here. I'll let you get a shot of that. We are live here in Plainville, Georgia, just north of Rome, Georgia, and we're at the Crazy Acres Bar and Grill here, and it's a beautiful night here in Northwest Georgia. And the reason why we're coming to you live tonight is because we got so many people commenting on social media about the state of our country and what's going on in Congress, what is going on with the impeachment of Joe Biden, what is the state of everything as far as the economy, the border. And we thought, you know what, let's come up here and talk to the very person, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's responsible for essentially shutting down Congress yesterday. And, of course, it wasn't her decision to pull everybody home until Tuesday, but because she was very open about staying in D.C. and continuing to fight on these problems. And so we're going to go ahead and turn over their microphone to her on the podium as she talks to a few supporters here. Let's listen into the music. Obviously, Marjorie won both in 2020 and 2022 with substantial percentage points in both her primary and the general election. Hugely popular here in Northwest Georgia, and has really been a major spokesperson for not only President Trump, but for the whole MAGA movement. And obviously, the fans here want to have a few minutes to speak with her, take some pictures. Okay, we'll go ahead and listen in. I'm going to go ahead and... Go ahead. We're live here in Plainville, Georgia, with Marjorie Taylor Greene on this beautiful night here in Northwest Georgia. Looks like we might. So what's going to happen? Somebody going to sing for us?
Yes, Sam, one of our customers. You'll love him.
Oh, that's great. So we're going to get a little bit of a, is it national anthem? Okay.
Yes, you will love it.
You got to love it. If you're just now joining us, we are live here in Plainville, Georgia. Crazy Acres Bar and Grill here in the 14th District of Georgia. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to make a few comments here in regards to what's going on in Congress, what's going on with the impeachment of Joe Biden, what she thinks should happen on the border, and also get her thoughts on the war in Ukraine. I think we're going to have a gentleman going to do the national anthem here. Let's let this play out as we're live here in Georgia on a beautiful Friday night.
Well, hi, everybody. Listen, I want to thank you all for coming out for this emergency town hall. And we're going to start this off the right way. We're going to have Sam Rubel up here sing the national anthem for us. Sam?
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Sam. That was beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling this an emergency town hall for a reason, because we have an emergency. Not only do we have an emergency, we have a national crisis on our hands. Now, I'm not supposed to be in Georgia today. I'm supposed to be in Washington, D.C. That's where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be at work. But they sent us home yesterday, and I'm not happy about that. And here's why they sent us home. I refused to vote for money to go to the Ukraine war. Now here's our situation. I'm going to be very honest with everyone. The reason why I wanted to talk to you all is because you hired me. You voted for me to represent you in Washington, D.C., and that's why I have a voting card. That's why I was able to vote no on our defense appropriations bill, voting no on the rule, literally stopping the ability for that bill to be brought to the floor because you elected me to hold that voting card. Now, since they sent us home and we stopped everything, I decided the people I need to talk to are all of you, because you are the people that matter. That voting card belongs to every single one of you. Now, I want to recognize every veteran here tonight. Thank you for your service, and God bless you. Now, it pains me to say I had to vote no to our defense appropriations bill, because there are a lot of great things in that bill for our military. The Department of Defense has its mission statement on the website. Its mission, the United States Department of Defense mission, is to deter war. Number one, deter war. Number two, protect our national security. How many of you feel like funding a war in Ukraine against Russia deters war and protects America's national security? No, not one person here has said yes. That should not be happening. Now, as a United States representative who swore an oath to hold up our Constitution and defend our country's laws, none of my colleagues should be voting to send a penny to Ukraine while our border is under invasion and our country is under attack. Now let's talk about how bad this is. First off, I'm going to tell you I miss President Trump. We all miss President Trump. He had the strongest border security policies this country has had probably in history. I serve on the Homeland Committee. I know the numbers. We discuss it all the time. There is a clear, definitive, numerical fact in data that shows President Trump's border policies were protecting our country. It was keeping out terrorists. It was keeping out people that should not be here. It was keeping out drugs. It was stopping human trafficking, stopping child sex trafficking. And the border wall works. We know Democrats love walls. They all build them around their houses. But when it comes to America, they fight to keep the wall from being built and tearing down the wall. They would love to tear down the wall. Now, I want to tell you, these are the numbers that are coming in right now. August, highest numbers on record. Over 230,000 people illegally invaded our country. The past several days in Eagle Pass, thousands came into the country. The mayor of Eagle Pass had to declare a national emergency. It's an emergency. Do you know what he said on CNN yesterday? Listen to this. The mayor of Eagle Pass, Texas, was asked by the CNN commentator, "Do you blame Joe Biden?" And he said, "Yes, I do. I blame Joe Biden's policies for our town having to declare an emergency." And then he went further. He said the president has not called him. See, Joe Biden, the president of the United States, doesn't care about Americans. He doesn't call the mayor of Eagle Pass when he declares an emergency because his town is being overrun by illegal aliens. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, doesn't care about Hawaii, doesn't care about the people who lost everything in Lahaina. He laughs and makes jokes and said he had a kitchen fire. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, has not even been to East Palestine, Ohio. As a matter of fact, nobody seems to care about East Palestine. Joe Biden, the President of the United States, serves one purpose and one purpose only. That is to destroy America. And, it's pathetic what is happening. Do you know right now it is being reported that there are multiple confirmed cases of tuberculosis in El Paso? Tuberculosis. And yesterday in the news, it was reported that the Biden administration has made it legal for over 200,000 illegal aliens not to just walk across the border, not to ride a train to the border, not to drive a car across the border. No, over 200,000 illegal aliens flew on airplanes from their home countries to 43 different cities in the United States of America. How is that possible? Over 200,000 people bought plane tickets and flew illegally into our country, and they're allowed to stay. And now it's being reported, you're not going to believe this, they are allowing people from Afghanistan that have come into our country since 22, not only can they stay, they are being protected from being deported. I'm sorry, has anyone forgotten that the Taliban controls Afghanistan and there's no vetting process for these people from Afghanistan that are given work visas and being protected from being deported are not terrorists? We have a national security crisis, and Washington, D.C. wants to argue about sending money to Ukraine. How does that make you feel?
Ready to bear arms. I once gave an oath to protect and defend the country. When I got out, they never told me it was over. Yeah.
And that's a veteran. Thank you. God bless you, sir. We did Korea. We did Vietnam. We did Iraq. We did Afghanistan. And what did they tell you all? You're serving America. Talking about America, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have someone that has called in. Mr. President?
Sure.
Here's President Trump.
Love our country so much, and loving our country so much today causes you a little problem because people go after you. That's what's happening with our country, and it's very sad indeed. But I just wanted to pay my respects to Marjorie. She's an incredible woman, an incredible person, and I want to say hello to everybody else. And Marjorie, where are you exactly? Because I hear it's a place that I like very much.
Mr. President, we are in Plainville, Georgia, and beautiful Northwest Georgia, where everyone loves you.
Well, I love them too. We did such great support, and we did so well in Georgia. We did much better than they said we did. Unfortunately, things happen, but we're doing it again, and we're going to win, and we're going to make America great again. We're going to do so well, and we're going to swamp all the dishonesty because the level of enthusiasm, the level of excitement is so incredible, even greater than 2016 or 2020, where we got many millions of more votes than we did in 2016. Everybody knows that. But the level of excitement is incredible, and we're going to get out. We're going to work very hard, and I would pay attention to Marjorie. She's really moving, and she has so many ideas that are so good, and she's so respected in Washington, I have to tell you. She's so respected. So I just want to thank everybody for being there for Marjorie, and when you're there for Marjorie, you're there for me too, and I look forward to seeing you all. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Marjorie. You go have a good time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. They love you. Okay.
So long. Goodbye, everybody.
We have a president that loves this country. And we have a duty and responsibility, everyone, to put him back in the White House. Are you with me? Because speaking of borders, how we protect our border ultimately is having President Trump back in the White House with his border policies, having a House majority and a Senate majority that can pass those laws so that President Trump can sign them into law. That's the only way we're going to save this country. It isn't going to happen this year. It's going to happen when we get President Trump back in 2024, and it has to happen. It has to happen. But right now, we have a battle on our hands. We really do. And this is why this is an emergency town hall with all of you. Again, I work for every single person that is standing in front of me. And God bless you for taking the time to come out. I am truly honored and thankful. So we'll be going back to Washington next week. Here's what I have told them. This is what I've said, and I'm going to ask you if you agree, because I'm getting your permission to take your words, your opinions, your feelings, and what you want back to Washington with me. And that is how I'll be using my voting card. I was very... The budget, yes, sir. That's what we're working on. Now, I told everyone all year long, I said, when it comes to appropriations and the budget, which is where we are right now, that is when you will see me fight you. I said, we have a Republican majority. I'm going to support our majority. I'm going to work for our Republican agenda. But when it comes to spending your money, the taxpayer dollars, writing the actual checks is where I will go to battle. And I've already started it. I did it yesterday, and I voted no on that defense bill that sent money to Ukraine. We've got 5 more bills coming next week. So let's talk about it. Now, number 1. Do you want me to vote to send money to Ukraine? No! Done. I will tank every single bill. If they try to bring it to the floor, I will fight them all day long. I'll stand on the Capitol steps and tell the press. I'll stand on the House floor and tell the Congress, and I'll tell them in every single meeting where they try to twist my arm. You will. You have my promise. Now let's talk about what is the number 1 issue. What's the number 1 issue? Is it the border? Nodding heads, okay. Is it the debt? Debt, yes. How do you pick, right? Elections? Is it elections? Yes. What about free speech? Yes. What about your Second Amendment? Okay, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have decided that they're coming after so-called assault weapons. Do Joe Biden and Kamala Harris realize that the Secret Service protecting them are holding assault weapons? Right? So what do y'all think? Should Joe Biden and Kamala Harris tell their Secret Service to put down their assault weapons, which are semi-automatic weapons? How many people here own semi-automatic weapons? Oh, okay. So they want to disarm all of us. Is that right? Yeah, are we going to let them disarm all of us? No, hell no. No, absolutely not. They are not disarming Americans. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris should go first. Tell your Secret Service to put down their guns. Are they going to do it? Yeah, Biden doesn't know where he's at. No, sir. Now let's talk about something else. Should dementia patients receive care in the White House? No. No. What about John Fetterman? Should he wear a suit? He should wear a suit.
Absolutely.
He should. Does everybody here know how to dress properly when they go to, say, church or work? Yes. Men here, you put on a suit. Ladies, you put on a dress or a very nice business attire. Am I right? This is not complicated. It's not complicated. That's right. They need some Southern manners, don't they? That's right. Mama will tell them. You should come up and straighten them out. Okay, so we're going back to Washington next week. I want to hear from you all. What are the issues that I can take back? Call them out. Elections. Wait, you mean I'm allowed to say the elections are stolen? Yes, please do, right? Right? Wait, didn't Hillary Clinton say that? Judiciary?
Yeah.
Corrupted judiciary. So we don't like these judges in Washington. Is that right?
DOJ.
Fannie Willis. Let's talk about Fannie Willis.
Chris Wray. Get rid of them.
I agree. These judges that are weaponizing their bench, targeting people that walked around in the Capitol on January 6th is wrong, is it not?
Yes.
No. What about Jack Smith's special counsel? What about David Weiss's special counsel that is supposedly holding Hunter Biden accountable? Okay, let me tell you, there is a way to handle special counsels. Right now, special counsels are funded within the Department of Justice. They have their own ability to fund special counsels. As the law stands right now, Congress cannot defund. We can't defund Jack Smith. We can't defund David Weiss. That is a very serious problem. It's also unconstitutional. Congress holds the budget. Congress creates the budget. Congress does the appropriations. There's a way to fix this that I am proposing in Washington, and I started proposing it this week. We have to repeal the ability for Department of Justice to fund their own special counsels, and we give it back to Congress. That every single year, Congress has to fund the special counsels. That's how we can handle special counsels and hold them accountable. Do you agree? This gives us the ability to hold Jack Smith and David Weiss special counsels accountable. This would give more power to oversight in Congress, like judiciary would have more power. Weaponized Government Committee would have more power over these special counsels. That's a serious issue we have to handle. Okay, give me some more issues. Wait.
You can play Mickey Mouse politics with all that BS about going on with special counsels and all that stuff. But what's it take to get those prisoners out of jail to back to their families?
Good one. Thank you. Good issue. What does it take to get the January 6th defendants protected? It's going to take President Trump in the White House. President Trump has said that he will pardon them. He will review their cases and pardon them. Let's talk about them for a minute. This is an issue everyone cares about. Okay, so I went in the jail in November of 2021, in the D.C. jail. These people, their human rights were being violated. It was horrible, but they're still being violated. There's a man named John Strand that was convicted. He's being held in Miami in a prison, and he's being held in solitary confinement. The problem is, in order to do something about their cases, we have to control the White House. This is why elections are important. Let's also talk about why elections are important. Local elections are important. Let me tell you guys, local elections are important. They're every bit as important as national elections, because the same swamp that I work in up there, I promise you it exists on your local level in every single way. So just as much as you're mad at, hey, look, you can be mad at Washington, because I'm mad at them too. I'm down here in Georgia and I'm supposed to be at work. But also hold your local city councils, your local county governments, your state governments accountable. That's right. Give me another issue. Impeach Garland. Thank you. Gee, I wish I knew somebody that introduced articles of impeachment on Merrick Garland. I did that. Yeah, so let's talk about impeachment. Impeachment is in our Constitution. But in Washington, D.C., and the national media acts like impeachment is something that is so terrifying and rare. Now, how many people know someone, or maybe are someone themselves, that has been fired from a job? Do y'all know people that have ever been fired? Oh, surprise, literally everyone here knows someone that has been fired or been fired themselves. But somehow, in Washington, impeachment, which is firing people, is like, oh my goodness, how dare you speak it? Should that be rare? No. This is how we get rid of corrupt criminals or people that are flat out not doing their job, like Joe Biden and Secretary Mayorkas. We could talk about the border all day long. Merrick Garland. who is abusing his power as the Attorney General of the United States. Christopher Wray. Gee, I wish I knew someone that introduced articles of impeachment on him too. Guess what? I did. Yes. As a matter of fact, right now, I think I hold the record out of members of Congress for articles of impeachment. Wait. No, they say I'm crazy for that. All right, so we've got Crazy Acres, right? Well, according to Washington, the American people are crazy and they think you're stupid. They really do. They think you're stupid. You're supposed to just pay your tax bill and trust the politicians. Just trust them. While they sit in office for decades and become millionaires, mega millionaires, and the American people get poorer and poorer and poorer.
It's money laundering.
It is money laundering. Let's talk about money laundering in Ukraine. Hey, y'all know the Clinton Global Initiative? Yeah, they just got a nice fat contract to rebuild Ukraine. Yeah, they are. Guess who's paying for that? Yeah, right. It's America last. It's America last. I saw a hand over here. That's a great question. As a matter of fact, we don't know where they are. And President Trump used to give them ankle bracelets. Joe Biden gives them a taxpayer-funded cell phone. You know, another number of people that are missing. Do you know there are nearly 100,000 migrant children? You know, the Democrats care about children, right? Remember how they attacked President Trump and said they were he's separating children? Putting them in cages. Remember AOC crying in her little white suit, crying? Please. The Biden administration is responsible for losing nearly 100,000 migrant children. Do you know what else is happening? These people hand over addresses of where they're going. Illegal aliens say an address of where they're going. But the addresses that we are finding have been used hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. We had a Homeland Committee this week where we had a New York City councilman. Okay? Bless their heart, right? Yeah. Sanctuary City, New York. It's hard to feel sorry for them, isn't it? California, sanctuary state. Hard to feel sorry for them. Let me tell you the statistics up there. Well, over the next year, they are going to be responsible for paying for, because their Democrat leaders force them to pay for these illegal aliens that are sleeping on their streets and living in their apartment buildings and staying in their hotels. Remember, it's Democrats doing that to them. He said that over the next year, they're going to be responsible for paying for up to 100,000 illegal aliens. You know what the cost of that is, he said? Over $6 billion. That is the same city budget for Dallas, Texas. And then the New York City councilman was saying send them back to Texas. And then one of our Texas congressmen was saying, no, we've had enough of them, buddy. You can keep them up there in New York. And I'm sitting there going, hell, send them back to Mexico. This is not complicated. Yes, sir.
I know this isn't none of your purview, but if we're going to protect our borders, we need to declare the cartels as terrorist organizations, and we need to go in there and clean our asses out and shut the damn thing down. Excuse my French.
Sir, can you come back to him, Brian? You served in our military.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you serve?
1960 to 1982.
1960 to 1982. Were you sent overseas to fight in a foreign war, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Vietnam.
Vietnam.
What's up?
Now, you just called out our real enemy to our country. You called out the Mexican cartel.
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Now, sir, if our military was worth a damn, who should they be fighting right now?
Right now, the cartels.
Should be fighting the Mexican cartels. Is our enemy any greater in the world today than the Mexican cartels?
No, ma'am.
No. Thank you, sir. This is a veteran. God bless you.
God bless you.
Now, you brought up a very good point. The Mexican cartels are an international organization. They should be considered a terrorist organization. They are a criminal international organization. They specialize in human trafficking and drug trafficking. They specialize in murder. They make billions and billions of dollars, and Joe Biden is the best business partner they have ever had. The absolute best. Now I want to ask you all a question. If the Pentagon and the State Department and the Department of Defense was so tough, do you think they would be more concerned about fighting a war over in Ukraine where we can hardly find on a map? Or would they be fighting and declaring war on the Mexican cartels? Mexican cartels, thank you. The Mexican cartels are killing over 300 Americans every single day with Chinese fentanyl. It's unbelievable. Yes, ma'am.
This is a message that I'm asking for you to take back to D.C. I am getting harassed by the VA for an overpayment that they did because of failure to document the policy and sent it to me. They are harassing veterans for payment while Ukraine, our U.S. senators, refuse to have oversight on that money. So all these foreign countries, do they ever get audited by the U.S. government and told they have to repay the U.S. government? No. So we need to bring that up. You're harassing veterans, but you're letting foreign countries get away with billions of dollars not being audited. And I don't think that is right.
No, that's not right. Say right here, Brian. When did you serve, ma'am?
I served from 93 to 2013.
God bless you. Thank you for your service. So the VA is harassing you.
Yes.
Harassing you, demanding money back from you because of their poor management.
Yes.
But yet, we have Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton,
Yes.
Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, all these senators and all these congressmen in Washington, D.C. demanding your money be sent to Ukraine, and then they don't care where it goes.
I actually had a hearing yesterday at the VA for this. So yes, I'm being harassed for that.
So this is an American. You're an American citizen. You're also a veteran, and you're being harassed by the government
For a policy I didn't know existed. It wasn't on the website. So how would I know a policy exists if they didn't give it to me and let me know that I cannot do this?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want you to work with my office.
I have the information. Gavin?
Gavin?
Oh, so I was texting him.
You're going to get with my office and we need to straighten this out.
Yes.
The government needs to get off of your back. Get off of your back, and they need to get after Ukraine and say, where is our money?
Audit foreign government as well. They need to audit foreign countries if they're going to be harassing us. That is the part I have a problem with. You're giving Ukraine billions of dollars without oversight.
No oversight.
No oversight.
There's no oversight.
And I am not the only veteran that have this problem because of all the different phone calls. Over 10 phone calls I've been speaking to. They keep saying, everybody knows this is a problem. Everyone knows this is a problem. If you know it's a problem, fix the problem.
Amen.
To stop it. Because we don't deserve this harassment. So.
No, you don't. Well, you want to know what they say in Washington? Let me tell you what they're saying to us. Oh, if you don't vote for the defense bill, you don't care about the military men and women. You don't care about the veterans. You don't care about our defense. But what you're saying, what I'm hearing veterans say, is it's absolutely completely the opposite. Yes. They're selling you out by harassing you, not taking care of you at the VA, while they're sending over billions of dollars to a foreign war in Ukraine. And don't even audit it. No, they don't even audit it. Yes, sir. Wait.
Take it. You're right behind you.
I'm a home health nurse, and I take care of people in the community, people that are in their homes that are too sick to be able to get back and forth, even to get groceries. And I have a lot of my patients that can't even afford. They have to make a decision between whether they're going to pay their bills or whether they're going to eat or whether they're going to buy medicine. We're sending all this money to Ukraine, and our people here are starving, and they're doing without medications. So why can't we divert some of this money that we're sending over there and put it back into our own people?
Thank you. Thank you.
Good question.
Thank you. God bless you. This is an issue I've been saying over and over. Bidenomics in our pathetic federal government has failed so badly that you're talking about seniors, right? And you just said it. They can't afford their medications. They can't afford their house payment or their rent. They can't afford their electric bills, I'm sure. They can't afford food. Are they having to choose between... They're having to choose. How the hell have we gotten to a point where our grandparents, our seniors who have worked their entire lives, paid into Social Security, this government has failed them so badly that they have to choose between food, medicine, or a roof over their head. That is the facts. This is what Washington does not care about. They don't care. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. You know, I'll say something. They're going to put this in a headline. A tax revolt would be a great thing in this country. Yep. Oh, there goes Marjorie Taylor Greene at Crazy Acres. That's right. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I saw your hand up.
And the Federal Reserve and the Fed. That's the basis of our most problems. And the Federal Reserve.
They destroyed our dollar.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me ask you.
1913.
Yes, ma'am. Talked about widely. This is something the American people care about, the Federal Reserve. Then they took us from the gold system into no system. Now, let's ask a question here. How do you all think our dollar is going to fare going forward? Our dollar, if we allow BRICS to take over. That's the organization where Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and all these other countries are joining together, and they are saying, we'll trade in our own currency, we'll make our own deals, because they're fed up with the United States of America. What is that? Yeah.
So are we.
So are we. There's an American. So are we, they say. See, this is what Washington does not care about. What does Washington care about? Themselves. Lobbyist checks. K Street. Keeping their big machine going. Okay, I've got a story for you guys. How many of you know Julian Assange? Yes, you've heard of him. He's a citizen of Australia, okay? He has been held for years. Our country is trying to prosecute him. Our country is trying to prosecute him on espionage charges. Our country is in the process of extraditing him from the UK, and they're wanting to prosecute him here and lock him away probably until he dies. But this is what, you want to know what happened this week? I had a large group come to my office from the Australian government, and they were a group of people on the left and people on the right that are a part of the Australian government. They serve over there in the parliament. They said, Congresswoman, we don't agree on political issues. This is a mixed group. But the one thing we agree on, the reason why we flew to your country and the reason why we're in Washington, meeting with as many lawmakers as we can, meeting with the Biden administration, meeting with everyone, is because we want the charges dropped against our journalists. That's what they were saying. And then they compared our government, and they said the United States is our friend. They said Australia is the greatest ally to the United States. That's what they told me. They said, we respect the United States. We respect America. But we feel like America does not respect Australia because they're prosecuting our journalists. Did you know Julian received the top award for journalism in Australia? They love him. It is a... That's right. I agree with you. He is a hero. And freedom of press that's in our First Amendment. Now, they compared our government to China's government. because China has arrested another one of their journalists from Australia and is holding that journalist in the prison over in China. So Australia's government came to Washington this week and literally said our government is the same as China, which is what? Communist.
But it's true.
It is true. You see, this is what you all see. You know, Washington wants to pretend like if the media tells you lies all day, that you people are dumb enough to believe it. And it's ridiculous. It's insulting. It's absolutely disgusting. But that's how they treat you all. So this is a free speech issue. This is the same issue that they're going after President Trump for. His speech. What did we see Jack Smith? What are we seeing him do? What are we seeing the special counsel? Gag order. Gag order. How is President Trump supposed to run for president if some far left communist judge tells him he's not allowed to speak? Let us speak for him. That's right, Christine. And if President Trump goes to jail because these communists lock him up, are we going to vote for him? Yes, we will vote for him. That's right. You're right. Let's
you want me to say it again?
Democracy.
Repeat the question for us one more time.
No, I was telling her Ukraine also have an American journalist in their jails. So they talk about democracy, but they have American journalists in their jail. Why isn't Congress trying to deal with them? If you want our billions, release that journalist.
That's right. Well, no, our country's too busy releasing terrorists back to Iran. Is that right? And $6 billion. Our government can't demand our journalists released from Ukraine. Is this the like kingdom of democracy in Ukraine? Where what? Zelensky said no elections until they win the war. What? Democracy. Oh, democracy in Ukraine. They lock up journalists. They lock up their own media. They lock down their social media. And then they send, well, no, our country send him over there. They sent our man over there that dressed like a woman and identified and said that he's the spokesperson. That's insulting. That's insulting. Okay, we got a hand up right here. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. All right. With all this stuff, Ukraine, is there any update on subpoena Anthony Fauci over COVID-19?
That's a great question, too. Hey, guess what? Washington, D.C. We just got asked if there's a subpoena for Anthony Fauci. No, unfortunately, there's not. Of course. There you go. Yep, sounds about right. Yes, sir.
Let's circle back for a moment. I've had a question in my head for a long time now. The great Rush Limbaugh taught me to follow the money, you'll follow the truth. Yes. How much of the cartel's money is going through K Street and the communist, anti-American lobbyists and funneling to either Joe Biden and Congress, both House and Senate? How do we get those numbers? I want to know where they got them. I also want them to start wearing jackets like NASCAR. I want to know who the hell's paying them.
Okay. God bless you for that. So how about, so you're saying that members of Congress and senators should walk around with their jackets on, and then we got to have like labels for which companies are funding them. Whoa! That was controversial.
If the border's open, it's open for a reason. If Congress isn't acting, and since most of them are lawyers and they have no conscience, they have no principles, because if they'll argue this case for this person today, they'll argue this case for this person tomorrow, and that's where our country has gone down. We don't have enough people who are not lawyers that stand for principle and actually believe in what they say and do.
Amen. Amen. Sir, you sound like a great conspiracy theorist.
But the time between conspiracy theorists and truth now is about 30 minutes.
That's right. Yes, sir.
I have a question that's not really necessarily on the same topics we've been covering so far. I drove down here from Catoosa County tonight, And I would like to bring something up to you that I brought up at our last county commission meeting. Lately, I've seen a lot of people abusing handicap spots when they don't have handicap tags. And I would like to ask, would you be willing to sponsor a bill to raise the fine and discourage it from happening?
Well, that one is a local issue. That one's a Catoosa County issue. Did you get a good feedback on that? You did? Okay, good. Keep fighting for it, and people do need to respect the handicap spots. I totally agree. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is the Second Amendment. And I feel that we do not have a gun control issue. We have a mental health issue in this country, and we really need to start setting an example here in Georgia, and you can help us do this, by reopening the mental institutions and getting these people the help they so deserve.
We only have gun control when it goes to politics, and we only have abortions when it comes to politics.
I agree. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you, Christine. Thank you for bringing that up. We do need mental hospitals reopened. We need drug rehab. That is exactly what we need. We don't need gun control. We need to help Americans, and there's a lot of hurting Americans. I fully agree with you. Yep, thank you. All right, anybody? Yes, sir.
What about the arresting of conservatives using their federally protected freedom of speech in Rome, Georgia, as happened in June of this year?
Well, if you're following the law, which you should be following the law, and you get permits for protesting, then you don't have an issue. But make sure you have permits.
We were on private property when we were dispersed in Rome, Georgia, myself and Angela.
This is a local issue. This is a local issue.
It's actually a federal issue because it's federal civil rights law that was broken.
Well, I'm sure you're taking that up with court. We're gonna have to. You're gonna.
We would love your support if you could tweet about it. If you could write a letter to the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department.
Brad, I have to tell you, I support the Rome police, and I support the police, and I support freedom of speech, but you have to do it properly. Thank you. Amen. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Congress, not by war, but by infiltration. And they're infiltrating our schools, they're infiltrating our teachers' unions, they're infiltrating every place. And that's the reason we got all this corruption going on right now, because they want to destroy America and the American people. They want to control us.
That's right. That is absolutely right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more right here. Yes, sir.
What about the Hunter Biden crisis?
Hunter Biden. All right, I'm going to finish up on this one.
Hunter Biden crisis.
Lock him up. Yeah, imagine that. Okay, we have an impeachment inquiry that has been started, thankfully. That has been started. So we are investigating through 3 committees: Ways and Means, Judiciary, and Oversight. I serve on Oversight. We are investigating Joe Biden, and I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. We are investigating their finances, the entire family, because we have proof that we have bank statements. This isn't just like on the internet proof. Bank statements that shows wire transfers from many foreign countries directly into fake LLCs, and then direct payments from the fake LLCs to 9 Biden family members, including grandchildren. Yeah, who does that, right? Everybody, that's right, you've known about it. Now, let me tell you why this impeachment inquiry is so important. Do you believe in draining the swamp? Yes. This is what I want. This is what I want to see. I want this impeachment inquiry to be painfully detailed. Because it's not just Joe Biden that committed these crimes. It's not just Hunter Biden. It's not just their family and their business associates. There were many unelected federal bureaucrats that covered it up. And that is draining the swamp. We need a list of those names. And we've got to find them in the FBI. We've got to find them in the DOJ. We've got to find them in the CIA. We've got to find them in every federal agency that we can find, because we have to make sure that those people are no longer employed in the federal government. And then when we control the White House and the Department of Justice, those people are prosecuted. That is the goal of our impeachment inquiry. And then, most importantly, yes, we should impeach Joe Biden. Yes, sir.
I have one question.
Cindy Powell's, all of Cindy Powell's investigations and evidence of fraudulent ballots being shipped from state to state. With what we had on the TV, they told all the people that were watching the election to go home, and because of the water leak. And then you see somebody pulling out ballots underneath the box and going and putting them through the tabulators after the Republican people that were watching. How come none of that evidence got presented and nobody would accept all this information? I mean, 1,000 Mules explains it pretty detailed.
I thought it explained it very detailed. Well, sir, elections are perfect in our country. Don't you know that? Perfect. We have perfect elections. Hillary Clinton thinks so. Stacey Abrams thinks so.
Camp thinks so.
Perfect elections. Perfect ones. No, I fully agree with you. And then we have a state DA that's prosecuting all these people. They're prosecuting them. Let's talk about that for a minute. You want to talk about Georgia and Fannie Willis? Is she Fannie or Fonnie? Fannie. We're in the South. We call her Fannie, right? Okay. Fannie Willis is prosecuting all these people. What can Georgia do about it, right? So there were articles of impeachment introduced. I thought that was a great thing to do. I wish it worked. Guess what? We do not have enough votes, even though we have a Republican-controlled House, Republican-controlled Senate here in Georgia. Even if every Republican voted to impeach Fannie Willis, it's still not enough votes because it's not a 50+1% issue. We don't have enough. So what can we do?
Get out and vote.
Amen, Christine. Get out and vote. That's right. Here's another thing. October 1st, there is a law going into effect that creates a commission that provides oversight into DAs. Now, when that commission gets created, that's where you people need to pay attention, because that commission needs to do their job and hold Fannie Willis accountable and stop this illegal prosecutions against not only President Trump, but people here in Georgia that stood up and fought because they cared about our state elections. It's completely wrong. Yes, sir.
I just want to say one fast thing. There's 22 million living veterans today. 22 million. That's enough to change any election.
22 million.
22 million living veterans today. I did 4 years in the United States Navy, a year in Vietnam. And I didn't do all that so I could come back and let America go to hell, because America and the government is not the same. It's not the same thing. I love America, but I hate the damn government. And the reason I don't like them is because they don't give a damn about us. If you think they do, you're wrong. But we need to send people to Congress and Senate that's got enough sense to know what to vote for. That bunch up there now is sending us down a long road to hell, I'm telling you. And we're just sitting back like a bunch of dummies. We're not a bunch of dummies. We're the United States of America. We're the strongest people in the world. And all we got to do is get out and show them. Send our United States military down to the border. You want to see it straightened out? You'll see the cartel gone? That's how you do it. SEAL Team 6 knows how to do it. I flew those boys all over Southeast Asia in 1967 and 68. They know what they're doing. Vote. And vote right.
God bless you. God bless you. Hey, listen. Hey, okay, we've got another veteran here. I can't ignore any veteran. Thank you for that message, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think today President Biden just signed another executive order making it more difficult for the follow-on president to fire people. I was wondering if you'd be willing to sponsor a bill to get rid of civil service protection.
Great. Thank you so much for that. We just had a meeting about that this week. Our Republican Study Committee we just talked about that. We totally talked about this issue. We have got to fire these people. 3 of them, 3 to every one, is extreme left. They have got to be fired. You talk about term limits, ladies and gentlemen. The federal bureaucrats, the unelected federal bureaucrats that keep their jobs over and over, no matter which administration, Republican, Democrat, no matter who controls the House and the Senate, these are the problem people in our government. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service. All right, you guys, we're gonna. Oh, we got one more question. Yes, sir.
What message do you have for the Patriots over on GreatAwakening.win that are waiting for the time when we don't have to be polite anymore? How long do we have to play by the rules while the left breaks every rule there is?
You're the American people. It's up to the American people to decide. Absolutely.
Everybody give Marjorie Taylor Greene a big hand, guys. Thank you for coming to Crazy Acres.
Thank you to Crazy
Show
Acres.
your love, guys.
Thank you.
And that wraps up our town hall here in Plainville, Georgia at Crazy Acres Bar and Grill, and taking 24 or more questions from the supporters here at this location, and everything from Veterans Affairs to the foreign wars to the border crisis to the economy, even to the J6ers that have been locked up. These questions were all addressed to the Congresswoman, and I think that she did a great job as far as answering everyone's questions. And of course, behind us, they're going to kick off their nightly entertainment here. We want to thank our friends over. We appreciate the thermos. If you're looking for a fine product to transport your hot, your cold beverages, these guys are TervisUSA.com. It's vacuum sealed, it's shatterproof, it's leak proof, and it's made right here in the USA. They've been a proud sponsor of a lot of our programs in the past, and they have gotten a tremendous response from you, the viewers. So if you like what you heard tonight and you like to support companies that are supporting broadcasts like we had today, go check out our friends over at TervisUSA.com and pick up one of these thermoses for your home, your work, or your car or office, whatever have you. So anyway, as you can tell, let's see if I step aside. She just signed in. I don't know if you get a good shot of that, but she's just taking some pictures, signing some autographs for the attendees here. We appreciate you guys watching. As always, you can check into our website, rspnetwork.com. That's rspnetwork.com. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms as well. Programming note for you, we will be live on Monday from South Carolina as President Trump delivers a speech there. We will be embedded with him once again in the motorcade. So, hey, where will we stop? I don't know, but it should be exciting on Monday for that. Then on Wednesday, we'll be live, I believe, from Detroit with the United Auto Workers as President Trump is taking time to go and talk to some of the auto workers there about what's going on with their strike, and then what can be basically brought up to in that strike. And then on Friday, we'll be live from Southern California at the California GOP convention, where President Trump is speaking at a luncheon there for the delegates there at GOP in California. So lots on the book as we make our way into this 2024 election. It seems like it's we've been doing this for a while, but here we are, more than over a year away from the election, and it seems like it never stops. All right, from beautiful Northwest Georgia, Brian Glenn saying, so long, everybody. Have a great night, goodbye, and God bless.
What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Hurd, and I have a Christian show called Let It Be Heard, where we analyze culture and current events from a biblical perspective. I highly recommend you guys check us out. We now have episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And basically, what happens is we react to videos, we have talking points, we have on guests, and it's very exciting. Come check us out on Rumble on the RSBN channel. God bless you guys.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. Because of all of you, MyPillow 2.0 has been a huge success, and now we're bringing you our best-selling Go Anywhere MyPillows with the same temperature-regulating technology. made with my patented adjustable fill and brand new cooling fabric. They're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, regular $259.92, now only $99.98. King size just $10 more. This is a limited time offer, so please order now.
Right Side Broadcasting is known for panning the crowds, showing the packed arenas, and allowing you to see the truth. They've covered hundreds of rallies, briefings, marches, CPAC, and the historic overturning of Roe v. Wade. Right Side Broadcasting was created in 2015 by our founder, Joe Seals, creating a unique broadcasting experience that allows you to make your own decision rather than force-feeding you an agenda. We don't cut or edit people's words or twist them to fit a particular point of view. We allow our correspondents to be open about their opinions while maintaining journalistic integrity. Right Side Broadcasting wants to continue our legacy with help from people just like you. Your donations and support allow us to continue to be the gold standard in live, unedited event coverage. Help our cause by sharing our broadcasts, subscribing on our social media platforms, and supporting us on our locals community. Your monthly or one-time contributions on our website are crucial in our fight for the truth. Thank you for all of your generous support.